less upset. We're going to be firing underway here. Todd Anderson's going to start with an island, going to pass the turn back. You can see his hand. He's got a Jace Volcanic. Looks like a sneak attack over there as well. And I imagine Todd knows what Bryant's playing because every time Bryant's playing, he's always playing Storm as he does fire up the attack.
I've never seen Bryant play anything else in Legacy.
Me either, actually. Me either. Probe is going to put Cook down 18. Again, we're going to see Jace, Emrakul, a sneak attack, a spell pierce, a Lotus Petal, and a Volcanic Island. Todd looking to maybe draw one of those double lands in the very near future.
That was a spell pierce, right? Yeah. Okay.
That was a spell pierce.
Right,
Here's a beautiful underground scene.
Yeah. Got to keep a little bit of interaction. Well, I said keep. Keep's a strong word.
This is a duress that's going to get spell pierce. Todd, double land, maybe? No, Gristlebrand. Going to play Volcanic. Going to put his Petal into play, pass the turn back, hoping to not get duressed or Cabal Therapied for his sneak attack at this point.
Duressed, Cabal Therapied, or killed. That's a real possibility here.
I guess the third one is a real thing.
Yeah.
Also, Cook knows that, if he wants to go for it, he can. He's going to, okay.
Yeah,
Killed is a thing. This is like, the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, Storm Count too. Let's do it.
There's a Lion's Eye Diamond. Storm Count is now 4. Burning Wish on the stack. Going to crack. Discard his Underground Sea. Burning Wish is going to resolve, so Bryant is going to go reaching.
And what do we have in the sideboard here? Of course, you cannot get Ad Nauseam. That's an instant. So
yeah, that is an instant, as you did mention. Past in Flames doesn't seem all that great. Empty the Warrens is certainly an option. Infernal Tutor is an option. He does have one of those.
Infernal Tutor. That's the one. Okay.
That's what he's going to
go Infernal Tutor can get Ad Nauseam, and of course, with those 2 Lion's Eye Diamonds, Bryant has mana to spare.
He's got plenty of mana. 2 Red Flames as well.
Yeah.
Also has a mana untapped, and he has put land because it is the
It's turn 2. Yeah. So, had 2 red floating, added 6 mana there from the LEDs, so 6 floating, now down to 1 floating with that Ad Nauseam on the stack. And Todd's counting them up, probably not liking what he finds.
Yeah, spell count here. 2 Rider Flames, 2 Lion's Eye Diamonds, that's 4. Burning Wish is 5. Infernal Tutor is 6. Ad Nauseam is out to be 7. So as far as tendriling for enough, that's going to be easy. The thing here is make sure that he doesn't kill himself with Ad Nauseam, but he's at 18.
Yes.
It would take quite the failure.
Yeah. Starting at 18, particularly when you have mana already, oftentimes the real risk of casting Ad Nauseam is when you need to hit a Lotus Petal or something like that in order to start going off.
He's going to go by an Infernal Tutor. He has a Lion's Eye Diamond there as well. A couple Lotus Petals along with a Gataxian Probe. There's a Dark Ritual. That's probably all he needs to go.
Yeah, I would think that actually just LED and Infernal Tutor would be enough, although he may not have a Tendrils in his main deck.
Interesting. I think you might be correct about
He does not.
that.
Okay, so he needs to find a Burning Wish then to get the Tendrils, although he could Infernal for the Burning Wish.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to keep these cards. Going to probe. Take a look at Todd's hand. Going to play 2 Petals. And Storm Count is plenty. Here's Dark Ritual to generate a little bit of mana. Believe he does have Thresholds. Now here's Cabal Ritual. If he wanted to get towards Threshold, of course, he could sacrifice those Petals if he needed to. Now he's got a Lion's Eye Diamond. He's going to cast this Infernal Tutor. He's going to go get a Burning Wish. He's going to cast a Burning Wish. He's going to go get a Tendrils of Agony. And just like that, my friends, Todd Anderson is dead on the 2nd turn of the game.
So was that Tendrils for 40?
Ish.
Yeah, more or less.
Ish. Bryant Cook winning game number 1 with Ad Nauseam Tendrils over Todd Anderson playing Sneak and Show. We will take a look at the sideboard. Bryant trying to hold back a smile, I think, on that 2nd turn.
That's gotta feel good. Turn 2 wins on camera. Don't come around every day.
You've got Todd's in front of you. What's he got?
Todd has access to 4 Pyroclasm. That doesn't do much. It's not blank, but it doesn't do much.
Yeah.
3 Grafdigger's Cage, 1 beside you, shelters all, 2 Through the Breach, 2 Shattering Spree, 3 Leyline of Sanctity.
That's not a bad place to start. Leyline is good against, obviously, the discard and Tendrils. Take a look at Bryant's sideboard if he can get it off the board. Well, he's using an M15 card. M15 having an impact
there we go.
in Legacy. The Mighty Void Snare.
Boom.
Yeah.
I think
Sorcery Speed Bounce.
The one M15 card that I think people were saying, like, that's going to be a Legacy card.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 1-of in Burning Wish sideboards, and here we are. Bryant Cook, a man of the people.
This is true. I mean, there's no enchantment killing effect, so he just wants to get out of play temporarily with Void Snare, which is what he'll try to do. If 2 of them happen to get into play for Todd, Bryant would have to get very creative by getting the Void Snare and then passing Flaming it back in the same turn. Something I'm sure he's worked through his calculations before.
Yeah. It's possible that once you resolve an Ad Nauseam, the world is your oyster there, I think. So that's not as unreasonable as it sounds. It's still a tall order, but it's still something certainly he can do. So yeah, I believe that Todd is certainly going to go for those ley lines. Pyroclasm, of course, is an answer to empty the Warrens, but Given that Todd is a combo deck himself, I don't really see Bryant going for Empty the Warrens in the first place, except as a very last option.
Yeah, empty kills are not something I think he wants to go to in this matchup. Now, he does have one Empty the Warrens in the main deck, and it is good in certain matchups, but it's just not this one.
Yeah, very good. In basically anything fair is going to have some trouble with an Empty the Warrens. Todd can put a Gristlebrand into play. I don't know how many goblins you have to make in order to be able to race a Gristlebrand.
A lot.
It's like in the... you got a one-shot him, basically.
A lot.
It's got to be like 35-ish or something like that.
That's easy.
All right.
I don't know if that's actually true. Cook's sideboard, a lot of Burning Wish targets, as we know. There's the Void Snare, the Thoughtseize, an Infernal Tutor, a Grape Shot, a Tendrils, a Massacre, a Pass in Flames, and a copy of Empty the Warrens to go along with this one in the main deck. There's also a Tropical Island to help facilitate the Xantid Swarm and Abrupt Decay, 3 of each of those.
Okay. And neither of those cards I'm necessarily expecting him to win here.
I don't even know if he reached for a sideboard. He may have reached around to put the cards back that he wished for, but I don't expect him boarding any of the cards here. Maybe Xantid Swarm, maybe. Because Todd does have Spell Pierce and Force of Will, so maybe you want that effect. But again, I don't think it's a guarantee.
Yeah, I don't think so. Some things that we have actually seen on camera a couple times, particularly out of the Feline Longmore, often we've actually seen her on camera board out a High Tide in her High Tide deck so that she can have access to a High Tide after it gets extirpated or whatever. So sometimes there are some kind of tricks people play with Wishes where they have main deck cards that they actually move to the sideboard to kind of like tuck away some copies of.
I actually love the outside the box Wish thinking too.
Yeah, I do too. As I was saying, like this particular deck, I'm less familiar with. I don't know kind of what tricks Bryant has up his sleeve. Several, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if there's anything that kind of starts in his main that he would just maybe move to the board to the empty, perhaps. Like again, I don't think that's a card he necessarily wants access to. I could see him moving the Tendrils to the main over the empty.
Yeah, I can see maybe that's what's taking place, especially in this game, because he's on the draw, where emptying is not going to get the job done on the draw. Take a look at his hand here via Gataxian Probe. We're going to see a Brainstorm, a Ponder, actually making 2 Brainstorms, 1 Ponder, a Cabal Therapy along with 2 Volcanic Islands, and a Scalding Tarn. So this is not turn 2, well, I don't think it's turn 2.
Things could change, actually.
Yeah.
Brainstorm can change the texture of a hand real quick. But yeah, it certainly doesn't look like one. That hand almost looked fair.
Todd going to Ponder. That is, boy, is that a good Ponder.
That Ponder doesn't look fair.
Man, is that a good Ponder. That's a Gristlebrand and a Show and Tell. If you can see Todd's hand, he had none of those things to start with. So, and he can actually go off on, it looks like turn number 2. Gonna add Gristlebrand to his hand. Gonna play a Lotus Petal times 2 in case he does need to Spell Pierce and pass the turn back.
Yeah, that's a heads up play, going ahead and getting those 2 petals into play. This is a therapy deck.
Ponder is what Bryant Cook is going to cast here, so we'll take a look at the top 3 cards. He is not interested in those, so he will shuffle, but unfortunately for Bryant, he is going to be facing down a very angry 7/7 flyer in just a moment.
We do see that Pyroclasm in Todd's hand. That was a card we weren't sure if he was going to bring in.
I imagine he brought in like 2 copies.
Right.
Just in case.
Yeah, it's not a card you want to overload on. He has access to the full 4. That's a lot of Pyroclasm.
Yeah, we saw him a little bit earlier, and he ended up playing against Infect, and having access to 4 Pyroclasms against Infect is awesome.
Sure.
So good.
I guess the question is what all do you need to take out? Looking at Todd's main deck, really, I think the 2 Jace the Mind Sculptors, those are slow.
Those are super slow.
Real slow.
Yeah. Gristlebrand's going to come into play. Cook is going to put a Scalding Tarn into play. So Show and Tell has resolved. What Todd has brought to class looks to be better than what Bryant has brought to class thus far. Yeah. Here is a Brainstorm.
Looks so far. That's one of those weird things about the Storm deck. Scalding Tarn can be scarier than Gristlebrand.
Yeah. See Spell Pierce take care of that first Brainstorm. Second Brainstorm here for Cook. See if Anderson wants to activate Gristlebrand just yet. I do like the aggressive use of the Spell Pierces here from Todd. Don't let him get anything started. Like, you know his hand from Gataxian Probe early, and the Brainstorms and the Ponders are what is supposed to save Bryant in this situation. So if you can actually counter those, it forces him to just draw perfectly, as he's going to resolve the Brainstorm, sacrifice the fetch land, make it a perfect Brainstorm. Probably going to search for Underground Sea, as he doesn't really have any, but he's got the Gemstone Mine, so I don't want to say he doesn't have black mana, but he will go get a Sea right now.
I love just cavalierly just tossing a beta Underground Sea out there.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. He's been playing with these forever.
He has.
See if Cook can put anything together. He's got a Cabal Therapy that we know about. He's also got another Brainstorm. So Todd is perfectly fine with these resolving, letting him start to manipulate. Of course, this can be a little bit dangerous because Storm can work its way around Spell Pierce-esque effects.
Yeah,
pretty easily.
And I think Bryant's going to be content to develop his hand. I mean, Ponder, well, I guess triple Brainstormer. So like casting 3 Brainstorms in one turn, your hand's got to be stacked afterwards, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're hoping at least.
So the hope there, I think, is that he can go for it next turn with multiple discard effect backup. Now, of course, Todd's not necessarily going to have the answers in his hand. I think Todd will be content to just swing for 7, say go.
Yep.
And then when Bryant starts to go for it, just pay 14.
I mean, heck, he can, with where his life total is right now,
he actually paid 21.
He paid 21, yeah. And he just drew a copy of Force of Will. He's actually going to draw some cards right now. So there's also the ability for Todd to, Emrakul plus Sneak Attack this turn.
Oh, sure. And finds 2 copies of Force of Will, 2 blue cards to go with them, so very well insulated right now. Of course, they are sitting in his hand. Both of them by themselves, or both of them exposed to a therapy right now.
I do like that he can get very creative with this play, though. He did draw a Brainstorm for the turn, so if he does get targeted by Cabal Therapy, he can cast Brainstorm, hide the Force of Wills, let Bryant name whatever he wants to, and then when Bryant starts to go off, he just says, draw 7 Gristlebrand, draw those 2 copies of Force of Will. He can do a little bob and weave technique. Normally when you bob and weave Brainstorm, you have to put the cards back, you don't get to see them again, but he can find them immediately.
Yeah. Gristlebrand, a fair Magic card.
Fair is a word you could use. That is definitely true. Here's a Gemstone Mine.
It cost 8. What's the harm?
It sure does.
What harm could it do?
And Todd is going to go Brainstorming in response to the therapy here. So here's a Lotus Petal, there's a Tarn, and there's a Gristlebrand. Those cards really don't matter. And yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Todd knows this play at all. He's been playing this deck forever.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. Man, poor Todd, so vulnerable, just there with no interaction.
Tough to watch.
Caught with his pants down.
Yeah. He did name Spell Pierce. It is a miss, and Cook is just going to pass the turn back. So Anderson's going to draw a card, but no, it's a Force of Will.
Okay.
He's going to draw 7 more right now. So there's a Force of Will. It's a tune on Island. Another copy of Force of Will, a Sneak Attack, a Brainstorm, and that last card was a Spell Pierce. He does have a double land here.
Does he have the Emrakul?
Yes, he does have that. Yeah, he just went through all those cards.
One would assume, right?
Yeah.
He's only drawn like 40 cards this game.
Gonna get a Volcanic, can play the Ancient Tomb, and I think he can finish him off here. There's 4. That's a Sneak Attack. That's 1.
Pow.
I don't know about you, but I feel like attacking for 22.
I like it.
That's Brett Nelson's joke. I can't take credit.
No, I caught it. I was there when he invented that.
Really?
Yeah, we were filming above the curve.
Okay.
He used that to sass Todd when Todd was talking about playing Sneak and Show. It all comes full circle. Here we are.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Todd Anderson evens things up here against Bryant Cook. Sneak and Show and Ant gonna go to a 3rd game. I think Brad is a genius for thinking of that joke, but it does not take much to impress me.
Yeah, well, Brad's something. Yeah, and actually, no, that made the cut. That happened in the episode. Todd was getting ready to start his spiel, talk about Sneak and Show how it was such a sweet deck, and then Brad just cut him off, just like stuck his hand in his face, stiff-armed him basically.
There you go.
It was just like, hey Todd. I don't know about you. Pause way too long.
Yeah, way too long.
Pause some more.
Okay.
But I'm feeling 22. And then we all just stared at him. It was one of those.
That's a winning joke.
It was.
Anything that involves Taylor Swift is A-okay with me.
Yeah. That's it.
She's great. Talented artist.
All right.
As sideboard-wise, you see both players are shuffling up here, and the reason for that is I don't expect them to change anything.
No, I certainly don't either.
Player draw doesn't really change a lot. The big trick here is dumb as it sounds, kill your opponent faster than kill you.
Oh, yeah. As we said, it's a shootout.
I think you mulligan aggressively or to the best of your ability. For example, Bryant's hand that game just wasn't very good in the matchup.
No.
I want to say, overall, I think his hand was good because, that's like maybe a turn 3 or a turn 4 hand, depending on what happens. But in this particular matchup, you can't keep that hand, I think, of brainstorm, ponder, hope to figure things out, hope Todd doesn't have a quick show and tell or sneak attack.
No, probably not. There are matchups where I think that's one of your best hands.
Me too.
Against black decks, his him decks in particular.
Yeah.
Your hand's gonna get shredded no matter what. So just develop your mana, hide whatever relevant spells you find on top, and kind of go about your day. But yes, this is a matchup where he needs to do things as quickly as possible. Well, when I say he, I don't know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, sure. They both do.
Yeah, Todd's hand last game was incredible. To be fair, I think it was one of those kind of come out with backup.
I don't know if you saw his hand this game, but this one's better.
Oh, fun. So, no, I missed it. Don't spoil it.
I won't.
Maybe you should spoil it. Actually.
I won't. No. Well, I mean, you're gonna see it in a second because Gristlebrand's gonna be in play on turn 1.
Oh, good.
So there's that.
Okay. Okay.
Bryant's probably just like, really? Really, man? Yeah, really. Don't kill me on turn 2.
Man, free land.
See if Todd wants to actually push the trigger on this. And the reason I say that is because he has a Spell Pierce in his hand, and he's already used 1 Lotus Petal.
Yeah.
So, maybe you do, maybe you don't want to do this. You're drawing a lot of lands off that Gristlebrand activation. Jeez.
Yeah, if he hits it again, Tendrils for 3 does the job.
That's not hard.
It actually is kind of hard because there's only 1 Tendrils in Bryant's entire
that's true. And we don't know if it's in his main or sideboard.
True.
Yeah. Todd's going to discard a whole bunch of lands. His hand right now is Force and Spell Pierce. Now, of course, you can activate Gristlebrand again if you'd like to.
Yeah, it does have Force.
There
That's a lot of
Burning
mana
Wish.
and a Burning Wish, and a Therapy. So this is a very explosive hand for Bryant on turn 2 as well.
And that's kind of, what's interesting, I think, about this is I understand why Todd activated Gristlebrand, but being at 20 versus 13 is obviously a huge difference. And if he's at 20, there's a chance that he doesn't die this turn. Like, Bryant's hand may not be perfect, but it may be good enough to storm for 6.
That may be true. There is a possibility that he's bottlenecked to some extent on mana, to where he can just build up enough mana to say wish for your storm card.
Yeah.
The difference between wishing with 5 mana or Infernal Tutor with 5 mana versus Infernal Tutor with 4, for example. So he's gonna snipe the Force of Will.
Not much of a surprise there.
No.
Here's a Petal.
So Todd, no defenses except of course being able to activate Gristlebrand, take 7 more peaks at another Force.
There's a red.
I have a feeling he is going to need to cash in that 7.
I have a feeling too. Because Bryant has 3 black mana in pool right now. I wonder if... See, what also makes this really compelling as here's a duress is that Bryant might just be trying to hook him a little bit. Here's Lion's Eye Diamond. There's blue. There's Petal. There's Wish.
Yeah.
Break
You
this.
can't hook him with the build-up storm with the counter magic and tendrils effect when you have to resolve Burning Wish to get your tendrils, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, if he has tendrils in his board and he has the mana to cast it.
Yes. I believe Todd needs to stop this from resolving.
Yeah, he has to stop this from resolving. So he will be dead if he doesn't find Force plus blue card. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oof.
No. That's it.
Wow.
Now, here's...
And extends the hand there.
Yeah, that's going to do it. I was going to say, I wonder if Bryant actually has tendrils in his sideboard if it's in his main deck.
Yeah, I don't know how much.
All right, yeah, he's going to the box. He's going to the box. All right, okay. It would have been, that would have been insane
I think
if it
Todd,
wasn't his main
Todd
deck.
probably extended the hand and said, hang, hold up,
Yeah.
show me. And then, But Bryant had that look about him like he just got away with something. I agree. So, now to be fair, he just beat a turn 1 Gristlebrand. So he's, certainly he got away with something, all right.
The other thing that makes that game is super interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because, again, if Todd doesn't activate Gristlebrand, I don't think he loses.
Well, here's the weird thing. If Todd doesn't activate Gristlebrand, he maybe doesn't lose.